Hi, I'm Anna from Mastashkina Cakes, and I teach sugar artists how to create modern cake designs and flowers using wafer paper. Today is part 2 to our previous tutorial how to make wafer paper poinsettia. I'm going to teach you how to make foliage and beautiful sparkly leaves and how to put it together. And today is going to be a little bit different because I'm placing my poinsettia flower and foliage on a cookie, and I'll show you a little bit how to decorate that as well. So let's begin. So for my foliage, because I want it to be a little bit on the darker side, I'm going to use airbrush color, and this is just Americolor Air Mist Forest Green. And I'm going to use the same method. So my main is spray bottle and wafer paper, but I'm going to use just this mixture without adding any other liquid because I want this to be very well saturated. So here I have my wafer paper, my mini spray bottle. I'll check my color on a paper towel just to make sure that it is working. And I'm going to spray my wafer paper with this green color. The same as we did for our poinsettia. I'll let it dry and cover and add another layer with this color. So here is my wafer paper with 2 applications, and if you want your wafer paper to stay flat, you can put it in between 2 pieces of wax paper or parchment paper and put under some weight, and it will flatten itself out. So now I'm going to prepare on my tools and cut my leaves. Now that my wafer paper is dry, I wanted to cut my foliage, and I'm going to use this craft punch. You can buy any craft punch in this shape that you like and that suits your design. And I'm going to punch a few pieces of this foliage. And to make this foliage to look more interesting, I wanted to shape it, and I find that the easiest way is to use something like a bumpy foam or any former and use a little bit of steam. So I'm going to steam my piece on both sides very lightly just to make it soft and flexible. And then I'm going to place it on my bumpy foam, something like this, to help it become a little bit misshapen or take on the shape of this bumpy foam. If your wafer paper is still soft, you might be able just to punch it and place it on a former, but for me it's a little bit dry today, so I'm going to use this bumpy form to help me make it not so flat. Something like this, and I'll set it aside to dry while we are working on our cookies. So I have here my cookies, and I wanted to decorate them using this stamp, and this is the same French leather stamp that I use for a lot of my cakes, but I wanted to add just a little bit of texture, so I'm going to use cosmetic sponge and a super black airbrush color. I'm going to use just a small amount of this airbrush black color and load my sponge and just stamp on my stamp here, because everything is food grade, so it's totally safe to use. So here I have my stamp with this airbrush color. I wanted to test it on a piece of paper towel to make sure that this is working. So I'll take my paper towel and place my stamp on and press. So I have my transfer, and I will reload the stamp again with the ink or airbrush color and transfer onto my cookie. So here's my stamp transferred to my cookie. And I'll do the same to the rest of my cookies and same decorations. Now that I have my cookie here, I'm going to add my foliage. This is already completely dry. And I know that I wanted to place my poinsettia flower here, so I will play around and see if I like any pieces of this foliage on my cookie decorations. And I'm going to use piping gel because piping gel won't melt my wafer paper. And I know that I need just a small amount to make it stick. And I'll take a few pieces here. So I apply small amount of piping gel onto my foliage and stick it onto my cookie. Same for this snowflake cookie. And if you have any berries or you wanted to add other decorations, feel free to do that. For me, I just like the simplicity of this placement. And the main element or main decoration is my poinsettia that I made in a previous tutorial, and I will put a link so you can watch how to make this beautiful flower. I wanted to place it on this Christmas tree somewhere, I think maybe right here. And I'm going to use piping gel again because piping gel is sticky, but it won't melt my royal icing or my wafer paper. So I will apply a small amount here and place my poinsettia flower and press it down a little bit. To bring the whole thing together, I'm going to add a few pieces of this foliage or these decorations. And I wanted them to go under my poinsettia, so something like this, and maybe a few more even smaller pieces. So here you have it, this beautiful poinsettia wafer paper decorations on a cookie with a little bit more details. Now you know how to make them, and you can make a whole arrangement. You can make your poinsettia smaller or larger and use as your edible decorations for your Christmas cookies or your Christmas cakes. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this tutorial. You can find all my templates and all the tools and materials I use on my website astashkinacakes.com. And I'll see you next week here on YouTube, same time, same place. Bye bye.